NRL Fantasy Thursday show for round 26. And guys, if you're watching this week, there's been a lot of substitutions, a lot of unavailabilities. I'm still here, but everyone else is unreliable. Saying that, we do have an upgrade this week, and I can say that because the boys pulled out. We've got the legend here, Jai Watkins, the owner of Blindside, NRL Fantasy. Mate, it's been about a year since I've had you on a podcast. How you been?
Yeah, man. It's been a while. I think last time you had me on the potty, I had about 80 followers, and I made some risky crystal ball call on Angus Crichton, and it's been upwards ever since. So I'm keen to get into this one.
Mate, you were tiny, but I could see the potential there, and you've popped off now. So what is it? I think in TikTok it's about 15K, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to compete with you. I'm trying to chase you. Your followers are. But no, it's been crazy, man. Like bigger than I ever expected. So it's keep on going.
Nah, mate, you are crushing it. You're crushing it. Don't try to compete with me, though. That's the only way you're not going to have fun. Because now that I know that, I'm rooting against you. But for everyone who doesn't know, Blindside NRL Fantasy, check out the Instagram in particular. I think that's my favorite of your platforms. Really detailed content, so a lot of write-out sort of stuff, a lot of deep data analytics, a lot of reasoning for some pretty bold calls, which you like too. Now, just going to hit some comments here before we go in. Ryan Dan, here's a good cheap bench option under 350K that I can quickly get for my league finals. Mate, that is a tough position to be in. Yeah. I would say if you're in league finals this week, trade one of your guns. You shouldn't be reaching for a 350K guy, right?
Yeah, I would be definitely saying that, trade someone that is underperforming, something like that, to try and get like a mid-range Tino. If you can trade someone in that 600K range, or if you really have to go cheap, like Jason Saab could be worth a punt. He's under 300K, so that's too risky. I'd much rather get into Tino.
Or if you could go a bit more expensive, your Sharkies, Melanie Hiroti, great form at the moment. Could be a shot against the Knights as well. Keep ripping through. Someone who can score a decent number of points. Yeah, we'll go through a few of those. The Panthers players we did on Cheapies cover Billy Phillips. He averages in the 40s in reserve grade with pretty reasonably low minutes. I think it's 41 off the bench, 49 starting. He's going to play props, so he could be a shout. Apparently Haas is sick. I'm seeing a lot about Haas being okay. Are you seeing the same thing?
Yeah, I've seen photos of him playing golf, and I'm like, mate, if he's playing golf but he doesn't play footy, I don't think Madge is going to be a big fan. So I think he's on. I think worst case scenario, he might get minutes managed if they're up a bit at halftime or whatever with the Cowboys, but it's Payne Haas. Like, look, I called him as an avoid to start the year, and it's a big regret.
Mate, that was brutal when you called that, because 9 times out of 10 you're right with that, but not this year. And we go into captains first, but I'll quickly hit these. Probably Karaz for captain. We'll talk about him as a captain option. He's on the picture there. Don't you worry. Haas expected to be sick, to play golf today. Haas is a captain option, and probably the safe captain option, but not where I'm going to go this week. Axie, good to see ya. Ash the cricketer, love your work, mate. Philip, it's the penultimate round of NRL fantasy, mate. It's the big one, but a lot of people have fallen off. Only the strong have survived to this point. Who's the captain? We'll hit that in a sec. I'm just going to hit all these messages here. No trades left. Top 3,000. Need a pod captain. We'll go through that for you, mate. Playing with 16. Need a pod captain, mate. A lot of people are looking for the pod captains. We're about a minute late, by the way. Someone crashed their car. Very minor crash, so I can take the piss. In peak hour traffic, though, just drive better. Jeez. Good to see you, Triple H. Pod captains, mate. Everyone wants your pod captain here. Blindy, what do you think about Galvin?
Everyone's definitely diving into the poddies, hey, the pod captains. Look, Karaz has been floating around in the Blindside faithful a fair bit. I'm massively high on Nicho Hynes. I think Nicho Hynes is going to have a big one against the Knights. Blake Brayley is also a nice little pod option as well. But I think Haas is solid. Terrell May is safe but kind of boring, to be honest, at this point of the season. JC, there's heaps of different options. I love these kind of rounds, hey, because it's like you're not just all stacked on Payne Haas. It's like everyone's going in all different directions. So great for a head-to-head grand final.
Mate, it's so juicy. So just so you know, across the format here, when we go through captains, we basically go one by one, right? So we talk about everyone who everyone asked for, everyone who's on this image as well, and really sort of take turns making a case for these guys.
Okay,
so
cool.
A lot of people are asking that question. By the way, anyone who had popped your message up and didn't say hey, I'm saying hey to you right now. Good to see you, Starboy. I try to get to them all, but we've everyone's so chatty this week. It's full on. What's good, mate? Cheers. Ons, he loves you as well, mate. He's a follower.
Hi, legend.
It's good to see.
Thanks, man.
Lads. Go Haas, change the turbo. Cam, Kraz, Preston, very interesting as well. Preston might get a rest, is my only concern there. Now, let's talk captains. Let's go through this. Blinds, I'm going to throw to you first. You're the guest here. You get the honors. Pick anyone you like, probably someone from that image, but anyone you like, and make the case for them.
Nicho Hynes. I've had the captaincy on him. Used my last trade in to get him as well. Look, I'm a Sharks fan, so take this with a grain of salt, but I try to be as unbiased as possible when it comes to fantasy. And the way that Nicho played against the Titans, statistically, the Knights and the Titans defense is kind of similar at this point of the season. But the way the Knights defend is retreat and wide. And I think that opens up a lot of space inside for crash ball runs, like, say, the Eros of the world. Nicho Hynes loves taking the ball to the line. And I think worst case scenario, he will make a lot of points off goal kicking. So I'm seeing like a 60 plus minimum from Nicho Hynes, and I think no one will captain him. So I'm very, very high on him.
Yeah, he's the most popular buy this week, actually. He was our buy of the week as well. So I'm fully with you on this. I think Hynes can pop off. You look at the numbers, though, and there's a lot of that 50 to 55 kind of stuff in there. That scares me a bit. I don't know. He hasn't sort of shown that upper nuclear upside, and he hasn't shown the casual 65 that I kind of want to see. Yeah. So I do like it. I like it for the upside. I think he could go like 120 in this game.
You mean 120 double points?
Double. Yeah.
I was going to say 120 and just a solo score.
No.
I'll take that every day.
Sorry, 120 solo.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
I
think he has that 100 plus potential. Yeah. And the right day, right? Well, we've seen back-to-back games, 100 meters-ish run the ball. We want to see that from Hynes. See more kick meters. 3 games in a row with try assists, double last game. Could be spicy. I also love that you mentioned the Knights and the Titans having similar defensive styles. I thought you were going to say no defense, but you were more complimentary.
It's basically no defense. I was trying to be nice. But I think if I had to bring a con towards Hynes, because I'm not rose glasses here, I think there's a few problems. What I noticed with Hynes is that he goes missing in big games. So if we start to get a bit of a lead going, and I'm a Sharks fan, so this is honest. We might be up 20, 30 points. The problem with the Sharks, we can score points and we can score them quick. But if we make an error or we get far enough ahead, we turn off. And it's the one reason why I don't even think that we'll be a premiership contender if we don't get that out of our game. And Hynes is a victim of 55 in the first half, and then he'll finish on 70. And that does worry me with Hynes. But look, the upside for me, I'm chasing it big time.
Right. All right. Are you captaining yourself?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I've had him on captain since Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. Spicy. We always lock in the captains at the end too. So you still have 52 minutes where you can,
so
you can ponder this.
If you can convince me otherwise, I'll take it.
If you want a backflip, yeah. I mean, I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best. So next guy up here is big bad Jaden Campbell. I want to talk about because that's where I'm leaning with my captain as well. And mate, I always come into this show not certain of what I'm going to do, but I've been leading Jaden Campbell all week, and there's a few reasons for it. So Dolphins, of course, 3 games in a row where they've conceded 90 plus points to the running playmaker fullback of the teams they're versing. Now, Jaden Campbell, he's a halfback, right? But he takes a lot of those fullback lines. He runs the ball a bit like a fullback because he is an ex-fullback. And I think if there's going to be holes and lanes for someone to exploit, it's probably going to be Jaden Campbell. I can't imagine Brimson being the one to go 90 plus. So I think that's red hot. You've got back-to-back games where he's pumped out about 60 points with no attacking stats, right? And you've got this game against the Dolphins who have conceded, I think it's 64, then 38, then 58 in consecutive weeks. So do they bounce back? They haven't shown any signs of it. So I just think it's all there for Jaden Campbell to go massive. And the recent ceiling, is there, but the recent floor has been about 50.
Yeah.
So he's kind of looking like, unless he gets, some other intervention, I'm not going to say any words for it. But,
I think I agree with you there, 100%. I think you could frame JC as like the safer version of Nicho Hynes. The fact he does everything, whereas Hynes job shares with Trindle. It's JC is the main playmaker. He features in all their attack. He can score tries. He kicks the goals. So he's got a very stable floor. I'd say the only con I have against JC and why I haven't really looked too much towards him myself is the lineup for the Dolphins this week is the same lineup they threw out against the Roosters where they looked really strong. Trey Fuller at fullback, Hammer in the centers. I think they need to keep this frame. And if they go nuclear and they put it on the Titans, which is very possible, I don't know. He'll score more towards like that 50 base, I think, as opposed to hitting that ceiling. That said, 50 base is pretty safe.
Do you think they can go nuclear though without Herbie there? Like, I don't really see it as much. And let me read this out to you. Last 5 games for Jaden Campbell: 82 points, 103, 58, 60, 58.
Oh,
So that
it's
recent
kind
score
of
is a
all in the
58.
stats, eh?
Yeah,
It's kind
it's
of
pretty
hard
good.
to say no.
The best last 3-round average out of all the options we have here too. Sorry, last 5-round average. So look, it's tempting. It's tempting. Even Cherry Evans scored 90 against the Dolphins, and he's been looking
Yeah,
decrepit recently.
DCE, the fossil.
Yeah, I'll throw to you though, man. Like, give me another one of these guys. Who you liking the look of?
Well, I was going to touch on Haas, but I think it's pretty like cut and dry there. It's like if he plays, you captain him. If you want a safe option to captain, even if he plays at 50 minutes, okay, he's shown us at the start of the year, he can still put out an 80, depending on the performance. And the Cowboys aren't necessarily the strongest side. So I think he's safe. I'd say Terrell May's safe, but boring. Jacob Carraz, though, he's been floating around big time in the blindside faithful. And it's all because of the Critter, Carraz, Preston combination in that team against a weak Panthers side. I don't know how many points they will score, and maybe this could be one of those situations where we're looking at this going, Bulldogs are going to go absolutely crazy, but then the Panthers throw in a second string team and actually show up. So it's risky. I have a big rule at blindside where it's like you never put the C on a 1-5 jersey, and it's worked well because you got to chase attacking upside a lot. And you got to rely on attacking upside. So if he goes missing or is a bit slower on the game, or they don't get the attacking upside we're forecasting against this Panthers team, then he'll end up being a massive bust. So it's definitely a rocks or diamonds play, but he loves an offload. And if he can get some tries against the Panthers, he could easily hit 100.
What do you think the score is for this game? Because the Dogs haven't been comprehensive recently, and I get that it's a reserve grade Panthers side. So if the Dogs want to, and if they're ruthless, they could win this like 80-0, right? But do they do that? I can sense, I don't know. I look at it and I sort of think, oh, maybe they get to 40-0 and they just kind of cruise, right? Maybe Jacob Preston gets a rest. By the way, Frost King, he was sitting in first place last year for quite a bit of the season. So when he makes a recommendation, I do listen. But he's throwing Preston out there. The thing is, you're going to need tries, right? So who's going to score those tries? Like, you could totally imagine a world where we rock up tomorrow and we're looking at the sheet and it's Bronson Xerri who scored 3 tries. And it's, Reed Marnie came off the bench and scored a cheap try as well. And Connor Tracy had a massive day, 400 meters and 4 tries. And Carraz just sort of hung out on the wing and didn't actually have to offload or run the ball that much because they were scoring full field tries off kick returns, right? So that's what worries me, because like the opportunity is definitely there, but who gets those opportunities? And if the edge is what you're saying, and it's going to be Crichton there, Preston, Galvin, Carraz, the thing that counts for Carraz is that they're going to be trying to build Galvin's confidence up, right? So he's going to get a lot of ball, and Matt Burton was in a bit of doubt for this game. So I think it's going to be Galvin-centric. So that's where it could be good. If you were asking about Galvin as well, do you think that's too outrageous? Like, I actually reckon
I wouldn't even buy Galvin, let alone captain him.
Really?
I haven't owned Galvin. I've stayed far away from Galvin ever since he got named in this side. He's job sharing with Matt Burton. This game may be a little bit different considering the Burton situation, but he's scored nothing in the last 6 to 8 weeks that tells me that he's going to go out with a monster score. And if you come up against, say, a JC captainer and you're captaining Lockie Galvin, I'd say you lose that 9 times out of 10. So I just think it's not that Galvin is the worst option in the world. I just think there's so many other options available that you'd probably just put them above him.
See, I wouldn't captain Galvin, but I will counter you on the wouldn't buy him part. I'm playing Galvin over Gus Crichton this week.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. I like the matchup too much. I think the Dogs are too incentivized for Galvin to have a monster day. Like they as a club want that to happen. It's going to happen. You know, Burton with that knee issue, he's going to play that second fiddle role. The edge that Galvin's on is full strength. There's no kick out on the other side as well. So that's going to be less of a focus too. Like, I just think it's going to go that way. And every argument for Carraz is an argument for Galvin on that edge. It's an argument for Preston as well. Right. So I just think it's going to be so Galvin centric. So I'm starting him. I'm not captaining him, but I think he has a big, big day. Like him over Crichton and him over Drinkwater as well. They're both in my NPRs this week.
Oh, I sold Drinkwater to get Hines in. And I was like, he's probably 30.
He's sellable, dude. He's sellable, because Broncos matchup, it's not good. And then a bye.
And then a bye. And it's really no different to the players that have been rested this week. So, like, I've had a lot of people ask me, should I trade Eli Katoa, Isaiah Yeo, Nathan Cleary have even popped up as a sell option. And I'm like, no, you've got Scott Drinkwater. Like, really, if you average out their scores over the next 2 games, I'd say Scott Drinkwater's the worst off in that situation. And he's got so much value right now that if you have 100K in the bank, you can essentially buy anyone. So I just think if you got the winger fullback coverage, definitely pivot from Drinky.
Yeah, mate, juicy. Got more captains to talk about here too. A lot of trade questions coming through. Frost King 72 with 2 tries for Hines. It scares him. To use the last trade on Nico or go whole year Nico free. there's a lot of Nico contention. I mean, I think it's a good option this week to have Walsh in the Queensland jersey throwing me off. Yeah, look, I've got to give a bit of homage to the champs. Herodi pod captain is outrageous. Jesse Colhoun. Do you think? All right, so Colhoun, 62 average in reserve grade when he plays lock for 63 minutes a game. Those minutes aren't going to translate, are they? As a Sharks fan, like you'd think he's going to get a rest, right?
I couldn't give a definitive answer on Colhoun because I'm not sure how he would. I haven't looked into him deep enough to say how does he score compromise? Like where does he actually get his points from? If I had to guess a lock forward, I'd imagine a lot of this is from defensive stats, and I don't think Sharks will even make a tackle against this
his stat profile. Very similar to McInnes.
Okay, cool.
Like tackle rate, almost exactly the same, slightly lower efficiency, but it's like identical to McInnes.
Yeah. I don't see him scoring that well. He's a great player, don't get me wrong. But in a game where it looks like the Sharks are just going to be attacking and putting the Knights behind the posts, I think he'll get more towards a floor than something decent.
Yeah, unless he grabs a try. That's the big one because the Knights love conceding a try to a prop, as we saw with Payne Haas last week. Should I sell Haas desperate to win head-to-head? No, do not sell Haas. Oh, my God. Whoa. Definitely don't sell Haas. That's oof.
Yeah, maybe they've seen that. Maybe they sent that through before they've seen the news or something like that. But definitely no way would you sell Haas.
Yeah. And then Prime Walshy back 2023 haircut. Preston for the captain. We talked about him. Look, Preston, you need tries. I think Preston could be a good shout, but maybe he gets a there. That's the issue there. You're getting a bit of love here too. Triple H loves your insights. There you go. Guys, you're also free to insult him too if you want to.
I'm all for it. Like that's what I'm here for. That's usually what I cop is the insult. So yeah, have a go at the haircut.
Context for that, by the way, guys, is we have a private inbox with a few other creators, and we all just talk absolute garbage. Like it's just absolute shit chat. KPP captain. Any love for that? I personally don't see the ceiling, but
yeah, he's been great, and to be honest, he scores better in in highly defensive matchups. So I would say he's a great buy if you don't own. He's super stable, but better captains for sure.
Yeah, Fungs Flukes. He is normally on this show where you are blindside. He came 3rd last year, so he's an absolute killer. He's complaining about the whitewashing. Normally it's me and two Asian fellas, so we're whiting it up.
That's all good.
It's dead final 1 trade left, max points. I'm just seeing if there's any other captains we want to talk about here. Cleary to Hines.
Ooh. Look, I'd only sell Cleary if you're a head-to-head focused coach, and that's it. Because this is the last week of head-to-head. If the thing with Cleary that's different to the likes of Isaiah Yeo, Eli Katoa, Scott Drinkwater is that we know Cleary can pop out 100 on any given week. So what you need to factor in is that if you're going to trade Cleary to Hines, Hines needs to average 50 over the next 2 games, which is super possible. But it's not that Cleary will get 100, but the possibility of it's there. And if you're coming up in the last round of the season and you don't own Cleary, it could be devastating, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree. And they've lost 2 games in a row. They'll lose this one. Do they want to go into the finals on the back of 4 losses in a row? Maybe they don't care. I just personally reckon they're going to rock up for that last game. But yeah, you never know with Ivan Cleary. He's always looking for new ways to disappoint us. Then thanks Triple H has called you shitty insights now, so that's good. That's better.
That's more like
it. Ruben comes in. First thing that comes to mind, Jai, as a rewind. I think he's got about 4 players this week, Azza.
Oh, that's too M-rated for this show.
Poor fella. He ran out of trades like 3 months ago and then ran out again 2 weeks after we got 8 more. So he's going through it at the moment. What's your thoughts on head-to-heads of captaining someone who the opposition doesn't have? Great strategy if you are the weaker team. Poor strategy if you are the stronger team. So basically, if you're the stronger team, you want things to be similar, right? You're thinking the same thing, right? If you're the weaker team, you want as much difference as you can because you want to give yourself chances to be lucky, pretty much.
Yeah, I think you said it perfect. I think the teams that should be really looking for these ultra pod captaincy options are the ones that are maybe not sure if they're going to win the head-to-head. Like, you're a coach that should really roll the dice on the likes of a Carraz or a Kale Iro against the Knights, or something wild and outside the box that could go insane. If you're likely to win your head-to-head matchup, exactly what you said, I would just be whacking the C on a Haas or a May and letting the rest of the players do the job.
Yeah, 100%. Now we've got, who else do we have here? Brayley, we could talk about. Turbo, I've left him on there because he was on there last week and everyone laughed at me. So I wanted to do a victory lap on that one. So sucked in. I can't remember who it was, but Turbo pumped out a big one. Blake Brayley, same reasons we've been talking about. Sharks being good. The Knights concede more tries to props than anyone else in the comp. So you'd think that Blake Brayley is going to be involved in that in some capacity. Do you see a big one for him, or is there anyone that can give him a rest on the Sharks?
No, he's an 80-minute player. I don't see anyone taking time off him. They even don't have Daniel Atkinson on the bench, who you could maybe argue would have been an option if that was going to be the case. But he's just always 80-minute player, never has a rest, never gets injured. And this year's probably his best year ever. And I guess a bit of a narrative, more subjective, less stat-based, but he's just re-signed for 4 years. He's been named the captain for the first time with McInnes out, so that would suggest that he's next in line if McInnes moves on. And Adam Fanua-Blake is a prop and one of the best in the game and close to the line against the Knights. As you've alluded to, a team that loves giving tries to props. I think he's going to have a field day. I wouldn't be surprised if we back him in for a try as well.
Yeah, I'm with you there completely. He's trying to go for that England jersey apparently as well. So
Ooh.
Yeah, so he's got a bit to play for here. Show that attack. He's currently the leader in the comp out of hookers for try assists, for tackles, and for dummy half runs. So best attacking hooker in the comp as of this year.
Oh, you can say that a few more times. As long as they're in a Sharks jersey, I'll fully support it.
Right, he's that guy. Harry Grant does it for small periods, but then sort of takes a back seat to the rest of their spine. We'll mention here, so Turbo versus Dragons, it's a bit of a silly one. I've just left him in there. And then Terrell May is the last one. So 73 average this year, 65 average over the last 5 games. The issue is the trajectory of the scores. So an 85 weeks ago, a 71, a 49, a 59, and a 67. So that last 3 games is sort of in that high 50s area. You got a game against Canberra, who are pretty tough. They got a lot to play for in this game as well. The only play here is that Terrell May makes like 55 tackles and, then accumulates a few extra stats there and gets to an 80. I just don't really see him popping that huge score. And he's looked tired. Like, are you seeing the same thing, that he looks a bit fatigued?
Wrap the offload away as well.
Give him a rest though a bit.
And offloads are so handy for people like Terrell May, Jacob Carraz, all these guys, because they're like junk fantasy points. Like, they could just throw a ball out the back of a ruck to the ground and there's 2 points. If someone catches it, 4 points. It's like if he's parked that, I think Terrell May is a perfect example of someone you would captain in a head-to-head matchup where you think you're going to win and you just want to keep it stable. Like, he's going to score you over 100, pretty much. You could nearly guarantee that, but I don't see him getting that 80-plus scoring he was getting at the start of the year.
Yeah, I'm with you there completely. Last one here is Walsh as well. So for Walshy, Cowboys matchup is reasonably favorable. The fact that Adam Reynolds is officially out of this game is a massive upgrade to Walsh, because that Reynolds-Hunt combo was terrible for Walsh. It just didn't work for some reason. So, what are you thinking here for him? Do you see anything for Walsh?
Well, I did the last 2 weeks. So I called him as a buy 2 weeks ago and forecast that this would happen. Like, if you check into his stats without doing a deep dive, his scoring trajectory goes up insanely when he's got the goal kicking. And I think not so much because the goal kicking changes the way that he plays, but the goal kicking usually suggests, like what you said, that Adam Reynolds isn't in the team. And I think that gives him more sense of, like, he needs to be the one to feed the ball. He's more involved in the attacking plays. I'd say, though, that this game against the Cowboys is more difficult for him in terms of fantasy scoring than it has been the previous 2 weeks. So I think he could still definitely score well. No Reynolds there definitely adds to the value because he'll still keep those goal kicking duties. But I don't know. This one's a dice roll. I'd actually go as far to say as I'd prefer Jacob Carraz over Reece Walsh this week as a captain.
Wow. Yeah, the recent form, though, like, he's pumping out like 225 meters a game, 12 tackle breaks, then 13. He's had like 3 games in his career with that sort of number of tackle breaks. He's gone back to back with it. Like, it feels a bit like when we looked at Blake Brayley earlier in the year when he had that breakout and he was pumping out 100 meters a game, and we just hadn't seen that in his career before. That's kind of what we're seeing Walsh do right now. Like, it's unprecedented running. I think his previous career high was a 73. before this last
That's
fortnight.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kenty dropped that on our podcast. That
Yeah.
was the first time he'd ever scored over 80 in his career. 2 weeks ago? I was like, whoa, I didn't know that. I think so as well. Maybe he's just in a purple patch and he takes it another step further and gets 100 this week. Like, it could go either way with Walshy. I don't think he's a rest risk either.
Yeah, Triple H mentions here, can never guess how Queensland derbies would go. Broncos win, but should be a good game. And that's a good point. The Cowboys do rev up for this one as well. So I'm personally not jumping on Walsh. I know the recent 2 weeks has been fantastic, but historically he hasn't really been that guy. Although at the same time, the Cowboys are pretty strong through the middle and very fragile on the edges. Right.
It's a hard one. Hey, there's two. It comes back to that rule that I run where it's like, don't put a C on a 1 to 5 jersey. If you're hesitant at all, it's because all you've got there is attacking upside. And if there's anything that restricts that, and Walsh tends to get his points in packs. So like, he'll do a massive big run, make a break, offload to someone, regather the ball, score a try under the post, and there's 25 points. But he can go 20 minutes with like 4 or 5 points. So it's like, you want to clear upside, and he had that the last 2 weeks. I think they'll definitely win this game if I had to put money on it, but how involved will he get? Not too sure. It's not the worst captaincy option.
It's upside. It's fun, but Campbell's pretty much out. We'll come back at the end. We'll lock him in 100%. Now, I did want to do a bit of a tribute here to a lost soldier from our fantasy teams, Adam Dewey. He'll be kicking him over the fence in heaven now for the rest of the 2026 season. And blindside, just in case you didn't know, we have this as a weekly occurrence. There's always one keeper who gets knocked out for the year. But yeah, Adam Dewey, hopefully he's all good. Because he was in red hot form. And
he was busted. And I'm so lucky I avoided this, because I wanted to get him in so badly last week. I had to decide, do I trade out Tarpany to bring him in? And I was like, no, that just seems like a pointless chase. And I then made the decision, do I really want to chase this head-to-head win, or do I just keep focusing on overall? And I go, nah, I can't afford him. And then when he got injured, I was like, oh, that's the biggest save.
Lucky. Yeah, I was the same boat. So I had Tarpany in the side as well, but I went Latu Fainu to Tino. I had the money for that. I could have sold someone better. I was like, nah, I'll get Tino. He's close enough to Dewey. Probably, I mean, I didn't forecast, a few points behind Dewey, but at that price for Latu Fainu, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Harry Grant as well, by the way. Harry Grant gone for the year. Pretty innocuous shoulder charge, but hey, they called it that way.
Punish those like crazy. Same with pressure tackles. It's like they don't necessarily need to be a bad instance, but they charge them so heavily at judiciary.
It's hardcore. Now, I made this slide before I knew you were buying Hines this week. So how good is that?
You're not doing any justice to changing my mind yet. I'm pretty convinced now.
I'm on the Hines Express, man. He was the buy of the week. I think we talked him into being the most popular buy this week as well.
Oh, I reckon for sure. Like, it's kind of reasonably well owned, but there's that dynamic with the halves all year this year where there's like 4 or 5 that are relevant at different parts of the season. And Hines has not been himself in recent years with fantasy scoring. So I think a lot of people faded in other directions, but I think he's just outside of pod value now. Like, he's over the 10% ownership mark, but still there's so many coaches in amongst competitive teams that don't own him. And it's definitely a massive shout for buy. Yeah.
Very spicy option. Jack just asked 2 final decision for captain, vice captain. I always give it 7:30, mate. 7:30, I'll lock it in, but it's looking very Jaden Campbell unless there's some sort of change. Like maybe Matt Burton's out for the Dogs and we see potentially Reed come into the starting side and Hayward go to 6. I might think about. No, I wouldn't do it. Not going. Just got to keep people on their toes right to the end. Also, beautiful display picture from Jack here too. Can you see that?
Oh, don't get me started on Ashley Klein. Oh, that's dangerous territory.
Ooh, what do you think?
Captain. Go on. Oh, that's how many penalties he calls.
Yeah, for trades this week, are you making any trades this week? Just the Hines, but any others there as well?
Just the Hines trade. I'm really high on Tino, really high on Iro. There's heaps of people I'm high on, but I'm chasing for team dynamics. So like I could really use a half now just in case Panthers play some games next week and Cleary's rested or there's other changes in the team. A bit short in that dynamic because we had so many all year. So I've just been offloading them as trade bait. And now I'm kind of in a position where I'm like, well, this could be something I could protect myself from. So there's heaps of people out. There's actually a lot of buys out there this week. because you're more focused now on favorable matchups, like who has the best next two, who's going to score a lot this week, as opposed to what their price is, where their break even is, and it kind of opens up the landscape a lot more, in my opinion.
Mate, 2 fixtures, I agree with you 100%. That Kale Hero shout is good, because if the Dogs rest guys next week as well, which they might, they've got a few guys under injury clouds. All of a sudden, Kale Hero, he's got 2 reserve grade sides in a row: Dogs reserve grade and the Newcastle first grade side. So
he scored a try in every single game he's played this year, including the game where he got injured.
Crazy.
And I just think, I can't say for sure he'll cross again, but if stats don't lie, then he definitely should cross again, especially against the Knights.
Yeah, he's got to be fully fit too, because you guys have Talakai on the bench. Yeah, Herodian in the starting side. It's a Newcastle matchup that's pretty cruisy. Like he wouldn't be under any injury cloud at all. Like, he's not coming back early because you got those guys.
Yeah, 100%. They'd only bring him back if they absolutely needed to. And we're not in a position where it's like we need to win a game. Like we do need to win to mend our spot in the top 8, but a lot of the right teams lost over the last 2 weeks. So now we've kind of got a bit of a buffer. If we win this week, we're locked in, but I don't think it's a game where we needed our best team on the park against the Knights. No offense to Knights fans, but you've lost your coach. Your team isn't really performing that well. It's not looking good for the Knights, I don't think.
They're just missing troops, man. They're missing a lot of that strike as well. I think they'll be fun next year. I give the Knights a lot of crap because ever since they signed Dylan Brown, I'm a bona fide hater. But I actually think they'll be fun next year. I think they'll be on that, that competing for the 8 section of the ladder. And you'll have like Fletcher Sharp, Dylan Brown, Kellen Ponga. That edge with Dylan Lucas and Bradman Best, they just have to stay fit for a bit, and they'll be lethal too. Like, it should be good.
It's one of the best backlines in the comp. And the other thing is, if they get Sandon Smith, I think the rumor is they're trying to play him at hooker, which seems weird to me considering they got Phoenix Crossland. But Sandon Smith at 7, Dylan Brown at 6. That looks like better halves pairing than what they put together. But then where do you put Fletcher Sharp? Where do you put Ponga? So I think that if they do bring in Sandon Smith, they're just going to have this same issue again, where you've got 2 5'8s playing half and 5'8, but they got a new coach. So we'll see how it all goes together. But I think Dylan Brown has to be 6, but where do you put Fletcher Sharp then? It's a difficult call.
I mean, it's a very Nines style configuration, like very fast paced, very front foot, very ball running, like that spine, right? If you go Ponga at fullback, Dylan Brown, Fletcher Sharp in the halves, and Sandon Smith at hooker, there's no faster spine in the competition.
Yeah,
the pace on that is crazy.
Yeah, they look deadly. Like, they look so good on paper. I think I put them in the top 8 this year for my ladder prediction to start the year. I thought they looked really good, and they kind of do every year. But yeah, they get injuries far too often at the worst times of the year.
Yeah, Berg's had him as spoon. I had him right down there, but I will admit I had the Titans on the 8th spot in mine. I thought Keeney would play, and when Keeney did play, they were actually really good. Remember they belted the Roosters earlier in the year?
Yeah, they lost a few people. Like, they've lost Tino, like, in and out.
What's he doing?
Yeah, I think you're right. As soon as they lost Keeney, they lost that triplet of AJ Brimson, JC, and Keeney, which is, like, I don't know how the Titans don't win even without them. Like, their team is so stacked on paper. I think they spent a lot of money on forwards and not enough money on, like, structured outside backs. Like, you're playing Phillips Army and stuff like that. Like, no knock on them, but coming up against the likes of a Bradman Best or something in another team, it's quite heavily outmatched.
I'm going to fire some questions at you, buys and sells here. Eero as a pod. We'll take turns answering them. Eero as a pod.
Hell yeah. Massive.
Hell yeah. Boom. Go in blind and hope for the best. I thought that's a pun for you. Haas flu game. Do you reckon Haas flu game happening?
I think he plays 50 minutes. There you go.
Okay. Drinky to Hines here. I'm going to say a firm yes on that. I think Drinky has a 37 in him this week and then a bye next week. So I just don't see Drinky as that guy who can score well in a tough matchup.
No, he's done his job now. It's time to move him on. Agree 100%.
Yeah. Grant to Brayley. Absolutely love it at the hooker spot for Phil. I think Phil had Grant and Dewey this week, so he was in a tough spot. JMK for you, mate. Pod question. Against the Titans. Do you like it?
He's been looking great, to be honest. He's been looking really good.
I think they have Canberra next week, from memory.
It's I could confirm
Canberra
that.
Potentially resting a bunch of guys. I'll double check while you answer.
Yeah, but I think it's on. I'd really ask myself, why are you buying him? Do you need a hooker? And this is like your only option. You're stuck in this price range, or are you looking for a pod option? And if in this roughly the same price range, I think Tino's a better buy. I'd just
Perth
go to Tino.
Beers. He, just for context, I know him. He's in a couple of head-to-head grand finals, big ones this week, and one of his opponents has JMK.
Okay, so it sounds like more he's trying to level the playing field.
That's what we were looking at. We were looking at it last night, and I was like, oh, yeah. I wouldn't do it personally because I don't think he's got the strongest side in both matchups.
Yeah.
So he can nullify it in one, but I think adding JMK as a pod for yourself in the other matchup, he has that potential to go 25 points in the wrong game. He could score a try against the Titans, maybe not. Like I personally wouldn't do it.
Yeah, if that's all it is, like what's JMK's current price?
It's pretty cheap.
Like 656k, 23 more k. You've got Kale Euro. There you go. That's a way better pod in my opinion. Go grab him.
Euro pod season, but yeah, Sharks fan. Winnie, hey, don't diss my Knights.
Oh, sorry, Winnie. I thought this would start coming up. My bad.
Look, Winnie's showing more fight than the Knights team has this year. So no, look, I say with love, and everyone knows I support Parramatta, so they can just give it back to me if they need to. I feel like Kohler's going to go big from up the Bronx. Manly go left more with Garrick out. He'll bust 17 tackles. This one's a weird one, Kohler, because every year he gets a bit better.
Yeah.
And he's just never jumping by enough to be worth it as a buy. So this year, I thought he'd go better, but he's gone up, I think it's about 6 points of average this year compared to last year. So you look at it and you go, he's made 100K. It's actually not enough. It's not enough if you started with him at the start of the year.
Yeah.
So he's never going to be a buy, basically, unless he goes to fullback.
Way too stuck with him. I think he's a very Tony Stagg style fantasy player. It's rocks or diamonds, and it's not enough diamonds to justify the rocks. And even if he has,
by the way,
oh, Staggs will shout. Oh, sorry, Jay. Look, the Staggs is probably a better shout in terms of matchup. I think coming up against the Cowboys, he loves these kind of matchups where it gets like hard fought, gets real gritty. But still, I guess it depends on the price point you can really go for. If this is the range that you're in, I'd say like Taylor May could be an option as well. Staggs, it's tough. It's not really a direction I'd look in. I wouldn't talk you out of it if you would give me like a convincing narrative for it, but I wouldn't encourage you to go there.
Yeah, I would just do it based on total points projected for that team this week. So like Taylor May, people are talking about that matchup being good against Canberra, then being a bit leaky. I just don't think the Tigers score enough tries for it to be worthwhile. And he might score their 2 tries in a 40-10 loss. Like he might do that. But Staggs has so many opportunities up against the Cowboys where you probably forecast, 30 plus points for the Broncos in this game. We've got a big question here from Axie. Hines, Ero, Walsh, choose 2. Fire away.
Ooh, damn.
It's quick fire, man. Have you done many lives before? Because
no.
Bang, 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 bang.
Okay, quick fire, no thinking. Hines Ero. There you go. Better matchup. Yeah.
I'd go Hines Walsh. Just biased towards the spine. Involvement, hands on the ball. They're going to get more touches. But they're all good options, all 3 of those guys. And the other thing I'd look at here is what do you need the coverage for? So if you've got Drinkwater in your team next week and you have maybe, a couple of dodgy guys who might get a rest next week as well, you might get your Walsh to cover that back line, or if you need that half cover, like that's where it sort of comes into. Perfect. Then what do we got? Tomoko, a lot of questions about Tomoko. I personally think it's too late. He's one of those guys that when he gets to 400K, you look at him and go, ooh, that could be interesting. But you never buy him at the top of the curve because it always just comes right back down.
100%, yeah. Not consistent enough. I wouldn't go there.
A question from Sal Haas. 106, 62, 83, 64 in his last 4 versus the Cowboys.
That's cool insight. How many minutes has he played, though? And did he have the flu? That would be my question. Nah, I'm not going to put any more hate in my fantasy career towards Payne Haas. The dude has told me to shut up basically 26 rounds this year. Yeah, he's solid. I'm not going to talk anyone out of captaining Haas. He's a gun.
Yeah, that was so funny at the start of the year when you were like, no, hey, Haas isn't going to keep it up. And you were just there, you were there by yourself. And everyone, I think other people thought the same thing, by the way, but they were too scared and just didn't say it. So I respect you for like standing up and saying it.
Yeah, well, the stats indicated it, and but I think this is the trap I got caught in a little bit at the start of the year is when you're making so much content and you're creating so much stuff, you rely too much on one dimension, and I think I relied too heavily on stats, in particular to Payne Haas, and not enough about the narrative of like stats are great to a degree, but sometimes it's like, stats don't always matter. And Haas definitely proved me wrong. It wasn't enough to just say avoid in the preseason. I had to continue the narrative for 8 weeks.
Mate, you always got to double down though. Like when you're making content, like I've had Munster around 1 to 27, and
have you
for
really?
months everyone was giving me shit. Like they're just like, oh yeah, long he's gonna sell, because every week I'd say I'm gonna sell Munster this week, and then something would come up, and it's like, oh, well, I guess I'll keep him another week. And he's actually been great lately, but
it's been a steal. Yeah, 100%. Well done.
Got all right. It's got all right. I mean, he's sort of picked up the running game at about round 8, but that's one of those ones where he was pretty junk for the first 2 months, and because everyone was giving me crap, I was just like, you know what, I'm sticking with it. I'm going to stay on until this ride goes somewhere good. So
it was kind of similar to Isaiah Yongi in that he wasn't justifying himself as a trade out because his break even was always still achievable. And then I think it was a couple of games before Origin where he really started to peak through that. I can't believe you held him through that whole Origin period. Well done.
I'm a believer, man. I believe in the names. I'm got a bit of bias for that. Edison, who are you captaining? Only just joined now. So for me, it is probably Jaden Campbell. We're still 18 minutes away from confirmation.
Okay, cool.
Blindside, it's looking like Nicho Hynes, but we still have time to move off this slide and give him some different pictures. Then Stags a ball. Thanks, Longy, for the support this year, mate. No worries, Jack. Happy you got some value out of it, bro. Then Stags last game against Cows. Now I can't dodge this question, Bindy. You've had a rough year, mate.
I've had a horrible year. Yeah. I've had a real bad year.
I thought about skipping it, but I was like, you know what? You're not a coward.
You got to take the good with the bad. Otherwise, no, I'm not a yes man. You got to hit both sides. I'd say I'm ranked currently now at around, I think so, I could check for you, 17,900, something crazy. Like I haven't been ranked this bad for about 14 years. But wow. I think the big mistake that I've looked back on in my assessment was I really underestimated the change in mechanics of 13 in the minor and the major buy rounds. So the history of fantasy, the way I've played it is I try and serve trades for the first 4 to 5 rounds as much as possible. And then I can start to trade more towards like non-origin keepers or, obvious value. And then I can save trades over the origin period because I've prepared for that. Whereas the 13 player mechanic, when it got introduced, you don't need to plan so hard for origin anymore, which means you can save trades over origin. So what I found was I saved trades at the wrong point of the season, found myself chasing over origin when there wasn't as many options available. And I just never been able to pull it back. So I'll change that next year and I should have definitely an improvement. But thanks for the blindside
change, by the way. Yeah, well, I hated the change. The change to the buy rounds and all that. I thought it was rubbish. I thought it was total garbage. I really didn't like it. Yeah, it made it way too easy. The minor buy rounds being 13, a joke. I had great players sitting on my bench those weeks, great depth, and it didn't matter because you fielded 13. So I think they need to go back to making it a bit more challenging. Personally, if I was running fantasy, I'd be going back to 25-man squads. I'd be reducing the number of trades, and I'd be really focusing on building a game where it's about building a squad that you have to hold on to and giving you more flexibility with a 25-man squad. If a guy's out of form or they're out for 4 weeks or whatever, you can hold on to them. But with 4 emergency spots, if 2 of them are on a bye in a given week, which happens all the time, even in minor, like in one team bye rounds, you got 2 guys on a bye, you have a guy injured, you suddenly only have 1 spare player, right? You pick up 1 other injury or 2 other injuries and you're forced to trade. So I think there's a bit too much forced trading with the shallow squads. So that's what I'd change.
Yeah, I think a lot of people love the trading as well. Like trading is fun. Don't get me wrong. It's like my favorite thing to do to trade. I've just played for so long now, and same with you, Longy, where you just know when to do it and when not to do it, typically. And well, I probably shouldn't say that this year, but in the past, I've been able to pick the right time to make my trades. And I don't know. I just think you're 100% right. When there's so many trades in the game, it takes away from what fantasy is. Like really, you're a digital online coach, and you're trying to maintain a team. An NRL team can't just chop and change players all year. So I don't know. I don't mind it, but I wish at the very least they just revert that 13 rule mechanic, and then I can go back to the way I used to play.
Mate, it's a changing game. Even because I look back at the year I won, right? In round, so it was what were they? 26 round seasons back then, 2013. So it's a while. But I had 1 trade left in round 21. Right. And just hobbled to the finish because I had an amazing squad. Like I had a 25-man squad that was just fantastic, and guys were in and out and all that sort of thing. It was the same chaos as this year, but with a 25-man squad, you can play that strategy. Whereas you couldn't do that this year. Like if you burned all your trades, you could have a 21-man squad with the current structure of perfect players, and you'd be cooked this week.
Yeah, 100%. Like because you just never know what coach is going to do, and that's the catch-22 is we've got an extra round in the season compared to when you played in 2013 and won it, and there's so much more. Like the game's faster. We have the 6 again rule. They train so much harder now than they did in the past. So like this all amplifies the need for rest, especially for players that don't play Origin, because Roosters were a good example this year. They had like the perfect bye schedule where it was good to own them for the minors and the majors, but where their buys were positioned, they actually had extra rest over that Origin period in rounds where you could field players to replace them. And it's worked out not too well for them in terms of the actual NRL, but you kind of get what I'm saying. It's just, I think that there's so many more elements to the game now, and we don't have as many maneuvers to like with solutions. They've just given us an extra bulk of trades instead to deal with it.
Mate, we should just do a separate episode at some point of what they should change. I reckon we could talk about that endlessly. Now let's go to, because we do this every week as well. We're just going to build our SmartB daily fantasy sides as well. So, guys, watch along at home. If you're watching along and you have no trades left, or if you got one trade left and you're trying to fight the urge to use that trade, link is in the description of this video. SmartB, SmartPlay. The link takes you straight to this game that we're doing. So make sure you do the free games. Just have a play around to start with, and you can see if you want to dig in. But we got the Dogs v the Panthers first. We always do Thursday's game blindside, so it's not a great matchup this week, but we're sticking with it. Now, I don't think you've played before, so I'll give you a bit of a rundown here. You have a full starting 13 and 4 players on the bench. So essentially from an individual game, you pick a 17-man squad. The salary cap is based on their lifetime scores, not so much based on recent scores. So it's more that historical fantasy pedigree. And if a player's on the bench, they can be picked in any of the starting positions or on the bench as well. So let's start ripping in here and really look. Dogs v Panthers. All I need from you is to fire at me some names that players you want to pick in this team. So back five.
Is the scoring the same as fantasy?
A little bit different. So you get a bonus 10 points for over 200 meters run. You get a bonus 10 points for 50 tackles. You get a bit more for attack as well. So run meters are a bit more heavy. Attacking stats are a bit more heavy. Not quite like Supercoach, but almost more like fantasy on steroids.
Okay, cool. All right. So what are we backs first? Did you say
back 5? Let's go.
Raz has to be there. 100%.
Got to be there. I'll throw Zeri in. I'm going to throw Connor Tracy in too, and then I'll let you throw 2 more in. Crichton. Yep.
Do
we go Montoya or Laurie? Do we just go Dogs here?
Look, I want to put a Panther in just for the variation. I'd probably say Alamotti would be the winger. I'd pick him, but I don't know. Maybe it's just safer to pick another dog.
Let's go all Dogs. Let's go all Dogs for the meme team. Also, by the way, in this captain double points, vice captain is 1.5x as well.
Ooh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Now, halves here. Let me just double check the team lists because they have come through. I want to make sure Burton's playing.
Yeah.
Come on, doggies. Because if he's in doubt, they might just give him a rest. Yeah, Burton's in there. Okay.
Even still against this Panthers side, I think there's still a lot of upside. Like you kind of swayed me earlier in the potty with the Galvin chat. And I was like, I wouldn't buy him this week. But then after hearing you, I was like, he's got to be in. And then I guess you could probably do Burton as well. How much salary have we got left?
We should be okay because we're picking all Dogs players. Like we should be all right. Often you're picking the top players from both sides, but we're at 6.8 million. So let's keep ripping through. We'll go to Dogs halves here. In the back row, Preston and Curran. I mean, Curran's a tackle machine on the edge. Less of an attacking stud, but
I think we should, hit Curran, Preston, and then maybe one of these little rookies in
what about Eisenhuth, the captain? Lock.
Oh, yeah, back row. That's lock. Sorry, I was thinking edge in my head then.
Oh, yeah. So it's the full back row.
Probably worth it. He'll play big minutes.
Yeah, I reckon Eisenhuth, it's his first time captaining in first grade.
Oh, good on him.
Is unsurprising. But, yeah, good for him. That's sick. And then front row here. So Patea is starting.
Oh, he has to be in there. He loves an offload. Yeah. That guy loves
him too. Do you think Summerton has it at hooker? I'm just trying to think. Are there any Dogs we can sort of squeeze in here?
Max King, or do we have the salary for Max King? He could be
Let's
on.
go King. Let's go King. And then do we take like Kurt Mann? Would he score in this one, or do we think it's a Bailey Hayward at hooker kind of day?
It's one of the. I think Kurt Mann, even if he comes off the bench, I think he could be pretty deadly.
Yeah, we could squeeze Hayward onto the bench as well, so we do have space.
Yep.
So we're not going to take Reed Marnie. We could take Alamotti. Oh, so I was on the bench, not him.
I'm liking this game already. I might even quickly throw a team together after the potty. This is
make
fun.
your team. Every week, the top scorer of any individual game wins $100 as well. So,
sweet! I'll be rich by the end of the year then.
Yeah. Mate, I bet a bunch of the followers have won Origin jerseys and all that too. Like people have won heaps out of it. Let's put Alamotti in.
Yeah.
Do we take a Laurie at fullback? He always revs up at fullback. I want Hayward
I
there.
think so. He'll definitely get a lot involved in this game, considering they've got no one else. I think if we're able to put Schneider on, because he'll likely guide that team a lot. I'm not sure.
We got the money. Schneider at the halfback spot. Bang, done. Captain, vice captain here.
Captain Karaz. Got to.
Captain Karaz. I'm going to go vice captain for Galvin then. Give him the 1.5x. I think the big day for Galvin comes through, and we've been talking about it so much, it has to happen now.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, this is sick.
Yeah, that's fun, man. So we built one team. We always pick that first game of the round, then we do one other game. So your call here, I'm putting you on the spot, but which other game of the round do you think it'd be fun to build a team for?
Oh, look, I want to say the Sharks game, but it'll be kind of boring. It'll be a lot like that Bulldogs game. I reckon Warriors and Eels. I think that could be game of the
week.
Yeah.
All right, bang. Let's do that one. Warriors versus Parramatta.
Yeah.
So what's that?
It's your team too. I wasn't forecasting that, but I've got a feeling it could be game of the week. Wires in a must-win situation to maintain top 4, and
we'll just do that.
Throw them all in. And the Eels have been in great form, so I think it would be really good.
Fun. They've been fun. Dylan Brown's out this week apparently. Sean Russell's coming in for Parramatta at centre. So that's the play for next year. Dylan Brown was good last week though. Like top the team 9 meters. It's tough in defense. Yeah, Rob Toyer was just contained. All right, let's rip in then. So we got back 5 again. We'll go through back 5, and then we'll hit everyone's trade questions right at the end as well. So we won't go Dylan Brown. You think Yongi here?
Yongi. Oh, yeah, it's probably worth it. Give him a crack, I reckon. And then Lomax, goal kicking.
Done.
Andy. I like the idea of CNK as well to get it back at fullback. I think he could do some damage if the Eels don't show up. Back for Josh Adokar, he's got to be in there, especially if they reward scoring, attacking scoring.
I'll throw RTS in that last spot then. He's been in great form recently. Yeah. Pumped out a big one last week, couple of tries. 96 last week in this format too, so absolutely crushed. Then halves here, you got the Moses and Josh Papali'i combo, Tanner Boyd and Harris Tavita. Tanner Boyd's sort of that safe option. Harris Tavita is if you think the Warriors are going to win. I'm going to put Moses in. I'm going to let you make the tough choice between those 3.
CHT. It's got to be Harris DeVito, I reckon. I think they've got more to play for, and he'll show up. Yeah,
a bit of attack on offer there. And then the back row here, we're obviously going Aaron Clark, right?
Yeah. Fade Halasima. I think he's coming off the bench again, which is shocking.
Yeah, Halasima's on the bench again. I'll chuck Jack Williams in here, and you can throw Dylan Walker. Boom.
Walker, yeah, he's starting. I'm pretty sure he'll be interesting.
Yeah, against his old club too.
Yeah,
and then front row. Anyone you like?
I like the idea of Vimalgo, but he was rotated to the bench last week. So James Fisher-Harris is a solid one.
Yeah, he's safe. Hopgood's getting the minutes as well, so I'll pop him in.
God, I think I might leave this last one.
Yep, I'll go Junior.
Yeah, sweet.
Pop Junior in there. He's been doing a job lately. And then on the bench here, Riley Smith, Tanner Boyd. I might leave them. How much money do we have actually? We've got 2.9 mil, so we can go about 7. Yeah, we can get who we want basically.
Cool.
DW's Joash. Let's chuck Joash in. Love Joash. Not a great fantasy producer, but maybe this is the day.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. And then we can go safe. Tanner Boyd's a pretty safe one.
Tanner Boyd. Maybe even Tuolungi. I'm pretty sure Tuolungi. Is he starting?
Yeah, he should be starting in this one.
Yeah, he can. These rocks or diamonds. Sometimes he can go good.
Yeah, I'd like Egan, but he played 50 minutes last week. So I'm going to go Penasini for that last spot.
Nice. I've got eyes on Penasini for fantasy in 2026, big time. His price is
mate, so cheap. Captain call here.
Captain call Moses.
Boom. All right, and then vice captain. I'll chuck it on.
We can't help ourselves, eh? You got to think deep about it. Anything to do with fantasies.
Legit. I'll chuck it on Adokar. Hope for a couple of full field tries.
Nice.
Hope for the best. Now, look, guys, as I mentioned, if you guys do want to play that game, SmartB, SmartPlay, they do sponsor the show, and I absolutely love them for it. They've given away a bunch of Origin jerseys, all that sort of jazz. So jump in there, play a bit of that. You can play all through the finals as well, win a bunch of cash. I was forgetting the word for cash just then. But yeah, cool, man. Well, we've got a bit more to talk about here. We've got 4 minutes before the end here. So we've talked about our trades. We've talked about a lot of the trades people are considering. It's pretty straightforward here. We've got a few questions coming through. We can hit those in a sec as well. But is there anything else we need to cover today? Like, are there any start-sit calls that you really, any players, like we talked about Drinkwater, Galvin, that kind of thing. Are there any players that you're seeing people benching that you think maybe they should start, or anyone they're starting they shouldn't be starting? Like,
I think the situation, I don't think so. The thing I'm seeing is that people are being forced to play people. A lot of people don't have trades, or if they have minimal trades, they're trying to fix up some of that side by trading out, say, a Dewey or a Grant to get a pod gun in. So I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are short this week, I reckon, or that are playing De Silva or Joash Papali'i on their starting bench. So I don't know. I think it's more just making sure that you're targeting the right players, really isolate. Are you playing for a head-to-head grand final, or are you playing for overall points, and play accordingly, really?
Yep. I'm with you. Overall, be conservative this week, head-to-head. There's no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. I got a good stat here too from Butters. Good buddy of mine. He was 1 point ahead of me last week, and I blasted ahead. So I just had to sneak that jab in there. Suck it, Butters. But for him, great stats here. When Kraz scores 2+ tries on the wing, scores of 102, 85, 79, 73, 90, 98 for an average of 87.8.
Dude, shout out to Butters. That's a good stat. I like that a lot. I
don't like that. We have 2 minutes to our lock-in captains, man. Don't bring that up now, Butters.
Yeah, look, I've got Karaz in a double multi tonight. This is Butters, what have you done? I was convinced all episode on Hines, and now I'm really questioning myself.
We promised that we would turn you around here. It's always pressure at the end, man. That's why we do it like this.
I promise. And I'm going to stay Hines at the moment. Oh, that's going to be harsh, though. It's so likely.
2 minutes here. I'll answer a few questions while you spiral. Dan PG, head-to-head final. 1 trade left for max points. Preston, Huddy, Clark, or other. If you're the favorite, Clark is the safe option. If you're the player coming from behind, I'd go Preston. And nice. Huddy's kind of in the middle of those two.
Yeah, fully agree.
Yeah. Cool. Now, Kraz, captain, are you doing it?
No. No.
You don't have to answer. Think about it. Yeah.
I know it's up there, but it's like I'm spitting in the face of my own rule. Don't captain 1 to 5 jersey. Maybe this could be a lesson for me. Maybe next time I have to be less rigid and just be more flexible. Pick up Kraz if it looks like he's going to have a great game and take the risk. Have some fungi. But I don't know. I just think that Hines will be more stable. But 2 tries, that average, that. Well done, Butters. That's the closest I've been pulled away from Hines this whole pod.
Do you want a bit more here? Edison came in. Is Kraz against Jesse McLean crazy? Shout for captain. I'm only playing 16 this week, includes Fiketti because of injuries. So I think for you, Edison, by the way, it's an easy yes. Have some fun. You're playing well down on troops. You need to take a swing for the fences. Blindside, the matchup against Jesse McLean, not against Alamotti. As you mentioned before.
I think the change here that I probably will add is that there's probably a large chance Karaz might get a rest. Now, I know that's a bit far-fetched to say, but if they're far enough ahead and, they've got to win a game next week, or they're resting some this week, or just trying to manage players before finals, there's a large chance that he might just get taken off with 20 to go or 15 to go or something. And that thought came into my head and I resonated with it too much. And now I'm completely off Carraz again. So I'm going Hines.
This is so funny. I love the spiral. That's what this show is for. It's everyone comes here for clarity on captain. And the bad thing is I don't decide until this show. Like, this is my decision show for that.
Yeah.
Like,
I
reality
usually
TV.
What other people say to me, like in the group chat, it's just like, okay, all right, well now I'm swaying, like kind of like this episode, I guess. It's like you're just going around in a circle until you're like,
it's a lockout basically. But yeah, I'm sticking with JC for my captain, by the way, guys. Jaden Campbell, 100%. Jack asked the question, Longy, what rank you can't hide from us? I never hide, guys. On the weekly recap show, I start the episode by showing you my rank and what I did last week. I'm ranked 628 right now, but last week was the best. So, blindside, you should have seen it. I was ranked 1,050 last week. Cut the rank nearly in half with an 1106. Avoided all the chaos.
You were one of those ones that got into that 1-1 territory.
Yeah. My biggest score of the year in the toughest week, like going around. So, mate,
you're
it was
going
a cracker.
2 rounds to go. Are you affected heavily by injury at all?
No, I have Crichton and Drinkwater in my NPRs.
Oh wow! Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, you'll probably have another strong week. I can imagine because Kenty pulled out a stat on our podcast. I think it was last week that 400 and something coaches, nearly half the amount of coaches inside the top 1,000 had no trades left. So it's like, whoa, okay, you're in a position now where you're pushing that.
I think it might be worse than that. I thought that was like a week ago. It was like that.
Yeah. This was before, like I think round 25, round 24. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah, I have 1 trade left, but I'm not going to use it this week. 400. You're right. 400 have 1 trade left, and then another 300 have 1 trade left.
Yeah.
Half of teams in the top have Adam Dewey though, and close to that have Harry Grant. So
there you go. There goes everyone's trades, and you're still going to have 1 left. You're going to, if you get a crazy score this week, Longy, and then you back it up and say there's more restings and more key issues for people, and you can flick it. Yeah, sweet. And now that I've got in your corner, we can halve the match winnings. All right.
I don't know if I can come first, bro, but I'll share the KFC if I sneak into 10th place. Very unlikely. Yeah, no, it's going good. It's been a good rise. So about 6 or 7 weeks ago, I was ranked 3,000. I actually fell off at the back end of the buys, and then from 3,000, I've just sort of improved every week, and got into a pretty good spot. So
yeah, in a gun spot. I'll spot your accounts.
Top 200 is the goal, but that would be outrageous from 628. Like,
I don't know. You're pretty close.
with all the injuries. So that's why this week I was hoping for more chaos. Like when Haas was out, I was like, yeah, give him a rest. I'll bring Angus Crichton into my 17. I'm sure no one else has that as a backup.
A lot of people have to throw in Talon De Silva or Jed Stewart or something.
Well, no one. Yeah. Hopefully no one. That's
it's a bad thing to think, isn't it? You kind of start wishing that high ownership players get injured when you have backups for them. And I was happy when Herbie went down. So I was like, I got backup for that.
See, that's why I intentionally am very like, give him a rest, like he's a bit sick, give him a rest,
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Or like a misdiagnosed HIA and they're actually absolutely fine, Because my cardinal rule is you never wish for an injury, but you do wish for I don't know, they missed the bus to the game and they get suspended that week or something goofy like that. Beauty, man. Well, look, so fun having you on though. Appreciate you coming in, stepping in. Any last words from you for everyone this week before we finish?
Well, shout out to you for that sick rank. Stick with us at Blindside. I'll be a different beast next year. Learn a lot of lessons this year. And that's probably mostly what I want to convey to people that do follow our advice is I don't play for myself anymore. I kind of play to show strategies. So I'll run a strategy from the start to the end of the season, try and explain in post-season content how that strategy worked, where it could improve, how it could get better. Like last year, I was very aggressive. This year, I was ultra conservative and kind of try and improve on that every single year so that people that are of all levels can derive something from it. But yeah, I just love fantasy. You'll see me here when I'm 90 years old and I'll be teaching my kids how to record on the potty.
Mate, 100%. Well, look, we'll see if we can do more collabby stuff as well. Guys, also, if you're watching along, you like Jai, shoot me a DM. Let me know because I'm thinking about next year right now. I'm thinking about maybe bringing in, this show, for example, there's 3 of us normally, but think about maybe doing a show where we bring in more creators and everyone just talks their smack and everyone comes in with a hot take and I don't know, we we do some start sits and we have some sort of competition and, get it really feisty. Like that's what I'm sort of thinking about.
I'm all over that. I'm all over that. Yep,
Cool.
definitely.
Well, thank you, bro, for jumping on. Guys, check out Blindside on Instagram. And of course, you all follow us, but Casual NRL is ours. Jump into the Discord too. And if you guys are members of the private group, I did pop it in there. I've paused everything for the year, basically. So we'll keep going through, but there's no charges or anything like that. That all gets paused till preseason next year. Anyway, good luck, guys. Tear in this week. Make those pod captains. We'll see you on the next one.
Good luck, coaches.
Cheers, everyone.